Alright.
How's that? Cool.
So we
You
should,
ready?
Yeah. Ready.
We're gonna look that way.
That way.
See both of us?
Alright.
Okay. Welcome, everybody. My name is Kevin Wilson. I'm the host of the BMX HOF podcast. I want to thank everybody so much for joining Phil and I on this Sunday afternoon. Phil's a very special guest. Phil, we kind of came from the same area in the San Gabriel. Is Burbank the San Gabriel Valley?
No, it's actually San Fernando Valley.
Well, I'm from the San Gabriel. We're from the Valley. We're just different valleys.
Valley Boys.
Valley Boys. Thank you very much, Con. Now, Phil reached out to me, and he has a great story. And Phil, he was generous enough to come down to the house, and this is our first maiden voyage here in my studio. And as you can see, it's a little weird on the angle. I apologize, but we need to get Phil's nice, handsome face in the picture. So we're going to start talking about the 70s. We all, I've a couple times about the 70s, growing up in the 70s, racing, riding, and that type of thing. I've never really talked to anybody that was hardcore in the 70s, and Phil was there way early in the 70s. Phil was there. Phil was racing before Redline. He was even in existence. So I want to thank Phil very much. Thank you very much for joining.
Thanks for
and hopefully Phil's going to share some good stories with us, and we're going to have some fun this afternoon. So Phil, what year were you born?
I was born in 57 in Burbank.
So you're 10 years older than I am.
Yeah. And at St. Joe's.
Okay.
And parents there, they came from back east, back in the early 50s, and then we settled in Burbank. And when we moved to Santa Susana for a while, and then moved back to Burbank, and that's when we started.
Okay.
We moved to Frederick Street, which is towards the Verdugo Mountains, and it was the Verdugo Mountains were our playground. We had right up our street, and our street ended, and you went in the mountains, and there was the olive groves, and which is where we had our bike, and then we'd have in the olive groves where the olives were green. We used to have wrist rocket fights. Remember wrist rockets?
We got wrist rockets from Kmart.
I still have welts. Getting hit with the green olive, but it was our playground, and we rode bikes there, and it wasn't. In the beginning, it wasn't about riding our bikes. It was just having adventures. We ended up, as we got older, we started becoming more competitive riding, and it was mostly just my friends, Scott Panning, Mike Laughlin, Ralph Duran, and Tom Davidson, and myself. And it was us five. Most of the time it was us four. Scott was a little older, so he was already racing at Indian Dunes on his Bull Taco 50 class. So he didn't always join us, but he was instrumental in getting us racing, our bicycles. So he had a lot to do with it. He was the one that set up the track. I mean, he designed the track eventually. But initially we had built a track up above, maybe a half mile up a fire road up near a dam. And we were racing up there, but one day, one of the guys fell, and this 5 foot long, maybe longer, came out of the bush, and we called it Big Ben. After that, it was ginormous. We thought we're not going to make our track, so we moved down the fire towards the olive grove, and that's where we initially settled on our
right. So
our track.
So I'm interested in your Franklin Street, right, is where you grew up?
Frederick.
Shout out to Burbank, Frederick Street.
Yeah.
And you grow up. These other four guys that were neighbors.
Yeah,
all in the same group.
Same street. Yeah.
And so, who was one particular person that spearheaded besides the Bull Taco guy? Was the Bull Taco guy the way?
Yeah. He was the one that inspired us because he, like I said, he raced out at Indian Dunes, and he raced 250 class Bull Taco. We all looked up to Scott. He was our big brother, and
okay.
So, and then it was his idea, to build the track, and I mean it was all our ideas, but it was him that initiated the whole. Let's build this track and make it cool.
You're growing up in Burbank. You're going to junior high. So this all happened in junior high school, right?
Yeah,
Not even high school.
No.
Junior high.
Junior high.
When I was in junior high, and we had our crew that we rode with every day. We'd all show up early in the morning to to school, and we'd be like showing off each other's bikes and our new parts and our new paint jobs and all comparing, jumping, stuff like that. Did you guys have anything like that when you showed up to school? Like, were you like, was bicycle, was it like a culture yet?
No.
Or was it just nothing?
It was just transportation, basically. It was just like, get to school, get back from school, you know. If our parents had, you know, I was gonna say they drove us to school, they never drove us. We either walk or ride our bikes.
So what was the spark? I mean, the Bull Taco, so he was a motorcycle racer,
Yeah.
and he got you into race, and so you already had the Stingray. You didn't go out and you didn't say, I want to start riding bikes up in the mountains. You already had the Stingray.
Yeah, when you came off a jump with a banana seat and a sissy bar, you usually got hurt.
Right.
If you went over a jump, so.
So I never raced a really, well, I jumped a Stingray, but I never really put anything through any too much of the trials. Were the Stingrays as bad as they say they were back in the day? Oh, yeah. They were that bad?
They were that bad. They were stiff, and you had the what'd you call them?
The ape hangers?
Hanger bars, and the banana seats with the sissy bars, and that's what we raced on. And then eventually, as we became more proficient and wanted, you know, to do better, we started cutting the sissy bar off. And then getting different box handlebars.
Just cutting the top of the sissy bar off. They still had the struts on it.
Yeah, still had the banana seat on it.
You know, I love finding clips like that online of
Yeah.
the 70s where there were, you know, exactly the same thing what you're talking about. And this is so old that this is before the Yamaha Gold Cup.
Yeah. Before helmets.
Before helmets, before they even wore work boots.
Yeah.
He was racing in PF Flyers, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, Converse or PF Flyers or Cads. Or, you know.
So you rode first, jumping, and then you decided to start racing reversed.
No, I think we rode first, then we started
Okay,
jumping.
okay.
You know, we built a small jump, and then we, you know, eventually get to 5 feet tall. Just
what counts were you guys? I mean, when I was coming up, you know, we watched the episode with Fonzie jumping in the trash cans in front of the fried chicken stand. What was it? There's a fried chicken stand that he crashed. He goes into. That's what kind of shaped us when we were doing that. It wasn't necessarily Evel Knievel.
Yeah.
But it was that damn Happy Days episode.
Right.
What kind of jumps were you doing? Were you the guy that everybody looked at, or were you like were you like mid-pack, like, okay, I'm not the best?
I was mid-pack. I was definitely mid-pack. I wasn't the daring one. It was Mike and Scott. Those guys were the daring ones. They would, you know, we just like, okay, let's build it 3 foot. Let's go higher. Let's go 4 foot. Let's go 5 foot. I think one of the pictures in the LA Times, you have Mike going over that 5 foot jump that we had. It was like it was a straightaway from our starting line, then a chute where from like 5 racers or 6 racers into this like two side by side at best. You either got the whole shot or your toes.
So it was you know, I think I know what you're talking about,
Yeah.
because when we made tracks growing up, it was the tracks were so narrow that it was only really maybe room for one guy to ride. And I told a story before about when the first time that I saw a real BMX track, I was like, oh my God, look at the size of these berms and these jumps, and it was crazy.
The whoop-de-doos, you know. Yeah, we used to have the a foot apart, 2 feet apart, and you'd hit them and just like, it'd jar you. Not like these things they have now are gentle. These are like boom, 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 boom.
Dude, you guys had a water jump. Did you guys have water jump?
Yeah, we ran hoses to the neighbors. I don't think he knows this, but we ran hoses from one of our neighbors across the road up into the olive orchard and made up.
Nice.
We called it
the mud hole. The mud hole.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so the 5 guys, whose idea was it to start the sanctioning body? And because I'm dying to know what makes you were what, 14 at the time, 15? 14?
Yeah.
Later on in life in the BMX, I mean, there was guys that turned pro when they were 14.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like Greg Hill, I think that Eric Group turned 14 or 15, he turned pro.
Yeah.
But you were running your own sanctions similar to Bryhop.
Yeah.
But you just didn't know nothing at the time.
No.
Okay.
We just based it, you know, Scott, who would race it at Indian News, we based it upon what he knew about racing, you know.
Not Scott Bryhop, his Scott.
Scott Panning.
Scott Panning.
Yeah. And we based it on his racing, you know, putting in classes and age groups. And then eventually it was Scott's idea, but they gave me credit in the LA Times for saying, having women powder puff racing. And, you know.
So how many girls did you guys have up there?
Oh, a bunch of them. We had, 6 or 7 girls that would come up every Saturday and race.
So the first day one, race one,
Yeah.
you've already built the track,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Was it in relation to tracks in the late 70s, early 80s, was it comparable or was it not even close to being the same thing? Was it a downhill?
It was all downhill.
All downhill.
One moto, you know, just one run, and that was it.
Okay, did you do it similar to like the NBA or something like that, or the NBL where it was ages, or did you have
Ages.
sizes?
No, ages.
Wasn't one of them how big you were, or what?
No. It was like
Strictly
I think it
ages.
was 8, 9, 10 to 11. Yeah, it was something like that. I don't recall exactly the age group, but I think we had 6 age plus powder puffs.
So the first day of racing, how many races? Do you remember like how many races you had? Do you have like 3 races or something?
No, we had I think 7.
7 races.
7 races.
What was the youngest racer that you had, and what was the oldest racer that you had?
There was one kid named David Reno, I think was his name, and he was a little shot. You know, he was like I think 8 or 9 years old, and he just would tear the course up every time. We changed it each week. We changed that course so no one could dial it in. But he'd always nail it every single time. You know?
That's funny that you say right. He's a youngster.
Yeah.
He was 14 and that kid was 9, and he was a young kid.
He was. He was. You know, but he'd always like nail it every time.
We would do it we built jumps with shovels and
shovels.
shit like that. You
Shovels.
built a whole racetrack with shovels.
Shovels and hoes and rakes and just back breaking work. But it was fun. You know, we wanted to make something that was difficult but fun. You know, it was a labor of love.
So you pieced it out, or you didn't build the whole track in like one sitting, right? You would go up there probably on one weekend, build a berm.
Yeah, I think we built most of the track in one day or 1 or 2 days. Yeah, because we were enthused, man. It's like, this is fun, man. And then we got up there. We built whoop-de-doos and high bank berms and mud holes and jumps. And
Wow. This I grew up in the 70s. Obviously, he's just a little bit older than I am.
Tad bit.
But I was in kindergarten when he was doing this shit.
Yeah.
And
You couldn't race.
I'm sorry?
You couldn't race.
I could have been racing. I told a story to the people that watched my videos before where I didn't start racing until I was 16 years old and 3. But my brother and I had been on bikes our whole lives. I'd started jumping trash cans when I was 6 or 7 or something crazy like that. And I remember stories about in the 70s where, we had Stingrays and we had all the shit. I told a story that my dad was a compulsive hoarder.
Yeah.
So he would go out in sales and he'd bring all this shit back to the house, and he'd have bicycles and 10 speeds and just all kinds of 5 speeds and Stingrays and crates and all this stuff. And we would kind of have to take piece by piece from each different bike and put it together.
Yep.
And I remember we used to try to shove seat posts that were too big into our frames, and then you'd be trying to hammer it with a sledgehammer, trying to get the seat post in, or trying to get the seat post out if you wanted to save your seat post for the frame. Yeah. And doing crazy shit like putting hose clamps around for a seat post clamp, or something crazy like that. And then we used to strip out we haven't gotten to the box bars yet, but this is back when you were still riding ape hangers.
Yeah.
But when we got box bars, we would never have our high enough. So our handlebars would be doing this, and we'd have to try to put a nail in the gooseneck to try to hold it and stuff like that. What kind of did you do back in? Did that sound familiar, or did you have other tricks that you did?
No, we other bikes and find parts that seem to work or might work. Cutting the sissy bar off your banana seat, like a crapshoot, whether it was going to work or hold up when you went over a jump. A lot of times it didn't hold up. You hit the ground, and that banana seat would be like here, and it'd be sitting on the back tire.
Oh, right. Gee, that must have been a wheelie machine, dude.
It was.
Because I had a couple bikes with banana seats on there, dude, and you used to just kick back and then wheelie ever, man. Did you guys have the same thing?
Yeah, we did, but when you're riding dirt, you're not wheeling so much. You're hitting jumps and you're.
Oh yeah. But when we were street riding, it was
yeah.
just with block pedals before they even had before we even had regular spikes on the pedal, just regular block, rubber block pedals.
Rubber block.
Barefoot in the summer with OP shorts with a cut-off shirt right here back when I weighed 95 pounds. And just wheeling in with bare feet. Oh, that was the greatest time. Man.
Yeah, it was.
So I interrupted you.
Yeah.
What did you? So you cut your sissy bar off.
Yeah.
And also.
No, well, there's one gentleman down the street. His name was Herschel, and he used to help us with some of the augmenting of the bikes. But a lot of it was just we'd go to the bike store, and things would come in, and we'd say, oh, that might work, or this gooseneck might work, or this saddle. I think we started taking saddle seats off 10-speed and putting those on, and that worked. I mean, that was so much better than having that long ass. Pardon me.
No, long ass. She's what it said.
Banana seat, and but yeah, Stingrays, and then it was funny. I think I told you this. Murray Bike approached us when we started becoming a concern. Kids were coming, not just Fredericksburg, but they were coming from Buena Vista, Brighton, all over Burbank, and eventually I think some from the San Gabriel Valley, some from the San Fernando Valley. But Murray Bikes actually approached us and said, we want to sponsor your races, we'll give you $10,000. And we're like these 5 kids who,
15 or 14, 14 years old.
Yeah, and they're offering us $10,000.
Did you have to say, hey, they want to give me 10 grand?
I didn't think my dad made $10,000 a year.
That's all. Let me take care of that money for you, bro.
Yeah. So, well, us these little purists, I guess you call us, we turned it down. We said, no, we want to stay independent. We don't want we don't want you telling us what to do or how to do it.
So they wanted to sponsor the
They want to sponsor the Bicycle Racing Association.
The bra.
The bra. That's what we
Dude,
called ourselves.
You should have your trophy be like single D,
double D. Oh my God, we got in trouble. You
should have the triple D, dude, for the pro class.
That would be great. But we call ourselves the Bicycle Racing Association, or Bicycle Riders or Racers, sure, exactly. But we one day, one of my friends went into his mom's lingerie drawer and took a bra of his mom's. He got a red marker pen and put BRA on it. And we had a makeshift
flagpole or something?
Flagpole at the race, at the end of the race. And we ended up there.
Now, was that name specifically, was that acronym specifically for bra, or it was just a coincidence? Okay.
Yeah, total coincidence. We didn't mean to be that, but then when we realized what we'd done, we thought,
got it.
Let's just go with it.
Got it.
But then we did the bra up, and then my friend's mom, it was Mike's mom, she came up and saw her bra and made us take it down.
I'm not gonna ask if it was double D or whatever, A, whatever.
I don't remember. But that was pretty hilarious.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, did it have a hard time growing the bra, or
no?
Was it just evolve slowly or quickly, or did you have trouble recruiting people? Did you recruit people? Did you go to local bike shops? Did you go down? How did people?
Well, I was the unofficial publicist for the BRA. I don't know how it fell to me, but I didn't have any problem reaching out, and as I reached out to you.
Yeah.
And I reached out to LA Times. I told them what we were doing, and then they came up and they did a on us, and they put us in the one section, San Fernando Valley section, and front page, and that was cool. And then I reached out to NBC, KNB, and they came out and did like a 5-minute story on us, and I have a feeling that was the seminal moment, I think, for BMX racing in Southern California, because KNB, the reach was Santa Barbara to San Diego, and Barstow to Antelope Valley, and probably Palm Springs to Bakersfield. I know they had that far a reach. So that ran, and I remember watching, I was thinking to myself, kids are going to see this, or parents are going to see this and tell their kids.
Yeah.
And I think it had a huge effect. And I wish there's someone out there that knows how to get a hold of that footage from KNBC. 1973, I believe it was August, could have been July, because I think that would be great for the annals of the sport, you know, for
No
the,
doubt, no doubt.
for the museum, the Hall of Fame.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're doing your thing. Who's you know in charge of getting the trophies? You guys have points? How did this whole thing work? Because I'm flabbergasted. I'm thoroughly excited and interested on how a 15-year-old kid starts his own freaking sanctioning body.
It was crazy. Oh, another, you know, Val Surf. Remember Val Surf?
Yeah.
Yeah, they came to it, and Vans actually started sponsoring, I think, some of the riders, or was the one to sponsor some of the riders. I don't know if they did. Maybe the Roughing Boys. Do you remember Mike or Steve Roughing?
No.
They raced our track. I think Steve may have gone on to be something. I'm not certain of that.
Roughing.
Steve Roughing, I believe.
ING.
Yeah,
Okay.
ING. And then Dale Enox. And I think they might have got sponsorships from Val Surf, but I'm not sure. They wanted to sponsor our races too, and we turned them down.
And this, just to verify, this is way before a Team Murray BMX bike.
Yeah.
This is Murray 5 speeds or Murray 10 speeds.
Yeah.
What kind of bikes did Murray have back then when they wanted to sponsor you guys?
Yeah, they didn't have a
BMX bike.
BMX bike.
It was like 10 speeds.
Yeah, it was 10 speeds. Exactly. They were like beach cruisers, 10 speeds. You know. It was,
Wow.
They didn't have a BMX bike, but they
Way before the Team Murray BMX team. Way before.
Right. Yeah, but it was their jumping off point. And when we turned them down, I'm not sure where they went, but I'm sure it wasn't any trouble to find somebody else that would take 10 grand.
Right.
We
Maybe Scott Brightoff took it.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Yeah, but
Or the brothers up in Malibu.
oh yeah.
Their name escapes me at the moment.
Mm.
But anyways, go ahead.
Yeah. So as in regards to prizes, we would get 50 cents. We charge 50 cents to enter the race.
Wow.
You know, and so we'd make sure everyone paid their 50 cents before they could race. And that was it was at the start of the Saturday morning. Pay your 50 cents. And then one of us would get our moms to drive us down to the local bike shop, and we'd buy a knobby tire, first place winner, a number plate for each second place winner, and a Roger DeCoster poster for third place. So, but we never had enough money. We'd either, you know, have to hit our piggy banks, you know,
Right.
our lawnmower money to pay
Right.
for the prizes, but that's what we did because we just loved it.
Right.
You know,
No points though.
no points. It was just,
Just
Yeah.
1-3. If you got 4, you're screwed.
yeah, you got,
You got-
had a boy.
You got-
Had a boy. And then, yeah, as we grew, and after the LA Times, I think SoCal Motocross Magazine showed up, and Scott, what's his name? Anyway, it's on the pedal pushers. He's
Okay.
yeah, he started coming out and doing the keeping track of our races. He would put the results in SoCal Motocross Magazine every week, and we were like, whoa, we made it. You know, we thought we're the cat's meow here.
Yeah.
So, where was I going with that? Oh, once we got that, and then we some of the other. Remember the Valley News and Green Sheet? It's now the Daily News.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah, they came out. Burbank Daily Review came out, and then somebody went to school with, like Ronnie Howard, Opie.
You mentioned this.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to talk about Ron Howard.
Okay. Now,
Did he
Ron-
suck on a bike or could he ride?
No, Ron didn't. Ron didn't. He came up one day with his brother Clint and his dad Rance, and Cleve raced. Ron didn't. I think he just showed up, and people were mean to Ron. They were not nice. He didn't like the name Opie, and I think people started calling him Opie, and he left.
So this is the Andy Griffith Show time.
Well, I think that had passed. I think, but he was still living off that. You know?
Okay.
Yeah, but
And his brother was doing Flipper or Gentle Ben.
Gentle Ben. Yeah.
So this was right when he was doing Gentle Ben when he was showing
I
up.
think he was done with that as well, but he was. They were both, Burbank boys that showed up. Like I said, Ron didn't hang around, but Clint did. I think he might have raced. I'm not sure. It's familiar. And then Anson Williams, who was Potsy on Happy Days, he showed up too.
You're shitting me.
No.
This is before Happy Days.
Before Happy Days.
And I broke the habit.
Anson did. He went to Burbank High.
Was he your age or was he old,
No,
younger?
he's a few years older than me.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, he showed up and Yeah.
Didn't, I mean, well, they probably had a bike. He probably rode on a track, but didn't race or whatever.
Yeah, he didn't race, but yeah, the track was open for people to ride up until Friday, and then we closed it down Friday because we would make changes. We'd alter the course so no one would dial it in, because.
Did you guys have like a fence around with a gate or something, or how'd you?
No,
It was just like on the honor system.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go over practice today.
No, we actually tree fort in one of the olive trees at the finish line, and we'd get two of the guys or whatever, three of the guys to sleep in the tree fort on Friday.
With BB guns,
Or wrist rockets.
wrist rockets, dude. Those things hurt. Man.
No, so many balls. But
Yeah.
and so that's how we kept people off the track on Fridays and over on Friday night. No sabotage, So,
Wow.
So that was.
So you're still in junior high.
Yeah.
You remember how it wound down? I mean, was it a big to do? You guys said, we're calling it quits. We're not making any money, or you found cars or whatever the case may be. Was it planned, or just one day everybody just stopped going?
No, we found out that the land that we were on was owned by Villa Cabrini, the girls' high school, and they had sold it, part of the land where we were racing, to developers to build houses, and the other part they sold to Cal Arts, the Disney thing. So we were going to fight them, because we had really didn't have permission to use the land, but we.
What are you gonna fight with them?
I figured we were Catholic.
Yeah, you're gonna assume over squatters' rights, dude.
Yeah, pretty much. And the nuns never. They were cool with us, but what happened was they knew what they were doing. We went to school one day, and we were ready to get in front of the bulldozers and do all this protesting. And
that sounds like a Brady Bunch episode when they try to tear down the. When they're bringing it, when they cut the tree down or whatever, they did that thing. Anyways.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Anyways, so we were gonna protest and get out in front of the bulldozer and stop them. And we went to school, and they saw us go to school. And when we came home, no more track.
Oh wow.
Yeah, sad. It was really sad. And then, some of the guys left there. Dale Enox and some of these other guys, Mark Vargas, and they went over and started a thing called Lucky Busters over by, it's called Style Park or Starlight Bowl, DeBell Golf Course. But that was really hardcore.
What's Lucky, another track?
Yeah, the track was, they used like concrete culvert as one of the pass-throughs or, jumps. Guys were getting cremated, guys were getting really hurt on it.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, it was like, it wasn't rider friendly.
Wow.
It was, and that didn't last a long time too. I think one guy got hurt really bad, and they might have shut it down after that.
At the height of the bra,
Yeah.
how many members did you have, or how many riders did you have?
Geez, any given Saturday, that might have been our impetus, or any given Sunday might have been our impetus for racing. I think.
Your inspiration, yeah.
Yeah. But probably 50 kids. And it was growing every Saturday. It started like 20, 10, and then it went 30, 40, 50, 60. It started growing. I'd say 70 kids were showing up on Saturday.
Do you know where those other 70 kids went? I mean, did they go to the valley? Did they go, where did they go? I mean, they had someone else to race, right? Do you know where they went?
Yeah, I think some of the guys went to, there's a place in the valley.
The Valley Y or whatever, not the.
Honestly, I can't remember where everyone went, but it was sad. I remember we were like, oh, that was, it was sad, but we were, I don't know, kind of bittersweet. But we didn't know what we had started. We really didn't realize at the time what we helped spark, what we lit,
Yeah,
it was,
you were my Sacagawea, man.
Yeah.
I followed you. You were my Lewis and Clark, dude. How about that?
Okay.
Forget Sacagawea.
I met a guy online recently on Facebook. We friended each other, and he said he used to ride his bike from Glassell Park.
I lived in Glassell Park.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's his name? I can't think of.
I was going to tell you about Glassell Park, but I go, there's no way in hell he's in Glassell Park.
Yeah, this guy used to ride his bike from Glassell Park to race in our races. He told me that.
Oh, it's not too far. It's Eagle Rock Boulevard,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Eagle Rock Boulevard, Colorado, and go down
Or you
Colorado.
go to San Fernando. Right?
Okay.
Yeah, you could have gone San Fernando Road all the way to Scott Road and then up.
Yeah.
That would work, too.
Glassell Park was a rough neighborhood.
I don't think it's changed. Well, yeah, it's changed.
There's $1 million houses in
I
Glassell
know,
Park.
it's crazy.
I grew up on, for those Glassell Park peeps out there, I grew up at 2110 Wallam Street, and I checked the value of that house, maybe, what was the tear, maybe 6 months ago? And it was what, 1.3?
Wow. Crazy. Yeah.
And I used to get on the way to school because they wanted me to join the avenues.
Really? What were the avenues?
There was a gang it was a Mexican gang in Glassell Park.
You didn't join?
Well, no, I was only in second grade.
There you go. That's right.
I kindergarten, first grade, and second grade in Glassell Park, and then my parents bought a house in South Pasadena,
Nice.
which is like going from like Watts to Beverly Hills.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Yeah, crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So some guy rode his bike from Glassell
Yeah,
Park.
he told me that the other day on Facebook. He goes, I used to race on your course. And I said, oh, yeah, where'd you live?
Wait. So did you know this guy, or just where?
No.
He just reached out and he goes, dude, I know you from Bra.
No, I posted something to I think the NBA, the union
Okay.
link on Facebook, and he followed me from there, or friended me from there, and
How cool is that to have someone reach out and say, you know your track?
yeah, I know. I was like, is there anyone going to say anything about being on our track besides us guys? You know.
First thing I would have said was, dude, do you have any pictures?
I did. I asked him. I go, do you have any photos? He said no.
Yeah.
So.
I've told the story before where we used to ride our bikes from South Pasadena to Azusa. That was a pretty good ride.
Yeah.
And go racing, and then I think we only had to ride home once.
Yeah.
After races, and that was always catchy going through Urbandale and Doherty.
Doherty, yeah.
Yeah,
That
crazy
was
stuff, dude.
Foothill.
Yeah.
Foothill.
Yeah, or Huntington Drive.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. But so
Yeah.
that happens, and then I think you mentioned that you went to high school with someone famous.
Yeah, I went to.
So this is a cool story.
Okay.
He gets through junior high school.
Yep.
Stopped racing.
Stop racing.
Then you got girls and cars.
And rock and roll.
Rock and roll. He becomes a hesher, or is it a hesher, right?
Headbanger, maybe.
Headbanger, a hesher, Hessian. I thought it was Hessian. We had some arguments about it earlier. I think it's called a hesher. He now were you smoking dope too, or just the music?
Yeah, I was doing all that.
The whole.
Yeah, the whole thing. Once I got into high school, it was like.
And then you come across someone famous.
Yeah, I went to junior high actually with Randy Rhoads and Kelly Garney, who were the founders of Quiet Riot, and so.
Now, was this before Kevin Dubrow, or was way before Kevin Dubrow, right?
Yeah.
Or Rudy Sarr, those guys. They were not even in the picture yet.
Not in the picture yet, but they were just starting to get going. When I was in 12th grade, I think they had become Kevin Dubrow led, and but Randy was a really quiet guy, really to himself. I thought he was a sweet guy. He and Kelly both were really nice, but they loved to play. They loved to play their guitars and jam and party, and I used to have these parties at my house, and it was I call them the Latham first annual, second annual, third annual, and my third annual one was Randy Rhoads played with Ray Vega, who was another great guitarist, and had 800 people show up at my parents' house, not my house. This is my parents' house. And the cops showed up, Burbank cops showed up with 18 coppers, 3 helicopters, and the sergeant, watch commander, comes up to me and he says, do you want us to break this up? And I go, what do you mean do I want you to break
up my own party?
Yeah, I said, no. I said, well, if we break it up, it's going to be a riot. And I go, quiet riot?
No, bullshit, dude. You come up with that.
I swear to God.
Wait, no. It was already quiet right before you said that.
But
that'd have been an awesome story.
No, but he actually said, well, what do you want me to do? And I said, oh, can Randy and the guys play for another half hour? Would that be okay? And he goes, yeah. He goes, and then we can break it up. And I said, yeah, I think so. We're out of beer anyway, so yeah, break it up.
Wow, dude, that's funny, man.
Yeah, so.
When did you lose touch with them? Obviously, when he after high school, whatever, and you became famous.
Yeah, when he
Ozzy and all that shit.
Yeah, when he got to Ozzy, he was.
But he was. Did he play for some more Ozzy? He was Wait, Quite Right was before Ozzy.
Yeah, Quite Right, and then Ozzy took him from Quite Right.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
And you lived scrape with the Van Halen, maybe?
Yeah, we, you know, they grew up in Arcadia, Pasadena, and we'd go to parties in Glendale, and sometimes in Arcadia, but mostly in Glendale. And I walked into a backyard party one time, and there's Van Halen playing, and I didn't know they were Van Halen. No one knew who they were. They're just garage party guys. So I said, these guys are going to be something. You know, I have a feeling, you know, they've got some. You know, and then
This is when Eddie was singing, or this is when David Lee Roth was singing?
David Lee Roth was singing.
Okay,
Yeah, and I said, these guys are going to be something, you know. So, and I drank a little Jack Daniels with Michael Anthony. Yeah.
You know, there was always in our junior high, I went to South Pasadena Junior High School, and there was always a rumor that Van Halen had played our junior high like 5 years before it was even there.
Oh, really?
But I don't even know if it's ever been substantiated. Everybody like that was like the rumor, right? Like, oh, do Van Halen played our junior high before they made big? But I don't know if they've ever did it or not. But I've seen flyers on Facebook about house parties in Pasadena and stuff like that for Van Halen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, growing up in South Pasadena, Van Halen was pretty much the shit, right? Everybody liked Van Halen, especially in that area. Yeah. You know, and there, you know, everybody that went to school with always had their own story. I saw Eddie Van Halen at the market. I saw Eddie Van Halen over here. I saw, you know, just like you said, you're drinking Jack Daniels with Michael Anthony.
Yeah, and now I live in Pasadena. David Lee Roth lives 1 block away from me. So, and he's funny. He leaves his front gate open, and he's got this massive property. He leaves his front gate, and if you walk, should I say this? If you walk in his front gate, he's got some sort of object to art. It's like a chair, or duck or something. When you walk in, and people run in there, take a picture, and run out.
Wow.
And he doesn't care. Should I say that?
Dude, I think he's the best front man of all time.
Yeah, I do too.
Poor I can't swear, but he was the shit back in the day.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. Do you know that he dated Vanity? Remember Vanity?
Yeah,
they were a thing.
Really?
Yeah, that was like I would think that David Lee Roth would be with like, you know, some hot blonde or something like. But not, Vanity is kind of like a
He was.
Well, yeah, so many at one time. But I just always thought that Vanity was like a weird combination.
Right.
But anyway,
Yeah.
So you never after you're with Randy Rhoads.
Yeah.
And you're partying with Michael Anthony.
Yeah.
You never sat back and said, you know what, I'm looking at these BMX magazines, I'm watching these things, you know what, I'm getting that itch. Because if you didn't, you're the only person I've ever seen that did not have the try to make a comeback.
You know what, I didn't. Honestly, I didn't. I don't know what it was. And not until maybe 20 years ago did I realize how big it had become. I thought for us it was just something we did to away the hours during the summer. You know, it was something to stay out of the house, because you come in the house, stay out, you know, until the lights came on. So that's what I thought it was. I thought it was just something we did to we didn't realize what we had started or the fuse we lit, you know, back then. So I did reach out to Gork Barnett.
This is a good story. Go ahead.
Yeah, I reached out to Gork Barnett over at the BMX Hall of Fame, and I sent him all my articles from LA Times and from SoCal.
You said, Gork, have you heard of the bra?
Yeah.
And he said, no.
No. So I sent him that, and he actually he found originals, stories, and then made a display for the BMX Hall of Fame. So
you have your picture in the BMX Hall of Fame
already, yeah.
Congratulations, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I've never even been to the Hall of Fame. This guy's in the Hall of Fame. Well, pseudo in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. I've talked to Shannon Gillette from the BMX USA, and I said I don't want to nominate myself, but I want to nominate my friends, and if we can go in mass into the Hall of Fame, I think as pioneers, that would be great. I think that would be a great honor, and I know my friends would be stoked, super stoked, if that would happen, because I know we made an impression, you know, I think on a lot of kids, and you know,
just to put this in perspective for the younger, this is before Redline.
Yep.
Redline wasn't even a thing. Before any other, there was no other BMX bike that you can remember that was out there. I can think of it in 73.
There wasn't any.
74.
Yeah, there wasn't any.
So imagine how long ago this guy was riding and racing BMX before all of that. And that's what's cool, and that's what gets me excited.
No helmet.
About no helmet, before the work boots, right? No gloves, no shoes, no shirt.
They're just crazy.
They're just in a Speedo, for Christ's sake. That's how old this guy is.
Wasn't like that, no. Honestly.
But that's nice, man. So, did you have to fill out any paperwork, or did you have? I mean, so he obviously Gork had to confirm your story,
Yeah.
and that type of thing.
Yeah.
And were you there when they put your display up? Were you
No.
invited over there?
No,
like a ribbon cutting or nothing
No,
like that?
he actually, he said he was gonna do something with it. He didn't tell me what he was doing. He just said, I'm gonna do something. And then all of a sudden I get this email from Gork, and it goes, this is in the, when you first walk into the Hall of Fame, this is in the main, right there. When you walk in, that's us, right there in this display. And I said, what? Wow.
Wow.
I was so honored, that he did that. And
Too bad that's not your bike that's in the display.
no, it's not my bike.
Yeah, too bad, huh?
Yeah, my bike was beat up.
Did you keep your bike, Frank?
No,
No.
no, I wish I would have. Yeah, that would have been something.
Did you ever have the plate on the side of the back wheel?
No, never did that. We put it in the box on the.
Yes. That was my biggest regret, that I've never had the chance to put the round or the square number plate on the rear triangle of my bike.
Was
I
that-
always thought that was the trickiest thing ever.
Yeah, that would be trick. We never did that though. It was always in the box.
Yeah.
Just with
Round or square.
round or square. It was.
Didn't
I
matter.
think they were round initially, but then they started selling round and square. So when we gave them away as prizes, it's either round or square.
Did you put the number 69 on your number plate?
I think so. What kid didn't do that?
Do you know why 77 is better than 69?
Why?
You get 8 more, dude.
Oh my God!
At Dirty Fest, the first year at Dirty Fest, I raced my bike, my power light, and I had a number 69 number plate on it. I thought that was kind of funny. But I hope I appreciate you coming down.
Yeah.
I hope everybody enjoyed the show today. I normally don't come to you guys on a Sunday afternoon, but today was a special occasion, and
Yeah,
Phil
thanks,
came
man.
down, and maybe in the near future, someone else might want to come down and talk to me. In the
Great
next time someone comes down, I'm gonna have a real camera where it's not gonna be out in the corner. I'm not gonna do this on my phone. We're not gonna be leaning and shit like that. But we're doing we're BMX riders, right? So we're doing like turn downs or some shit, tabletop
Side hack.
side hacks, yeah. So thank you very much. I want to thank Phil for coming down.
Yeah,
Thank you,
my
Phil.
pleasure, brother.
And
Yeah, thank you.
thanks for everybody for tuning in. We hope that you enjoyed the show. If you think that we did a decent job, go ahead and subscribe. If you don't think we did a good decent job, subscribe anyway.
Hit that button.
Hit the button.
Yeah.
No one ever does, but I might will ask anyways. Thank you very much again.
Yeah.
And till next week, the track is now closed. Peace out.
Sweet.
What?
Do I hit the X?
Peace. Peace.
Are you sure you
Is
want
it
to?
good, man?